I had never been out of the country before, and I got a phone call one day that said, "Do you speak Spanish?" And I said, "No." And then they said, "Do you have a passport?" And I said, "No." And they said, "You better get one because we're sending you to Peru." The tricky part about Punta San Juan, the reserve, is reserves are very different than national parks here in the US. You have to have a permit to go. So kids could live a mile away from these animals and not know that they're there. So half of what we are doing with Acarema is just making sure that Peruvians and non-Peruvians anywhere around the world know what's happening in Punta San Juan. When you think climate change, you think a polar bear on a tiny little iceberg floating in the middle of the Arctic Ocean. You don't usually think about one of the driest deserts on Earth right at the equator. But climate change is a really big issue for Humboldt penguins and the animals that live with them.
What sea ice is supposed to do is freeze over, and basically, if you think about the globe, it's supposed to just come down, right? Freeze down and stay there for months. And then in the end of the summer, recede a little bit. And what's happening is that it's freezing later and melting faster and sooner. So all of that impacts the entire ecosystem, the entire food web.
Because the desert is a very fragile ecosystem, it is actually a biodiversity hotspot right off the coast because of the Humboldt Current. It's very cold, there's ocean upwelling, and it is full of animals and plants right there. What keeps happening is the ocean current, because of climate change, weakens and moves further away from shore, and that's where all the fish are. So the sea lions and the fur seals and the penguins have to go further and further out to get their food.
So we know that fossil fuels are not going to last forever. They are finite, but there are so many different ways that we can harness other energy for our day-to-day life. And that's where innovation is. That's where the future of innovation should be. And so putting resources where our mouths are and focusing on what the future of energy is actually going to look like. It's now or never.